Here's a fun fact about myself. I'm an Eve fan. It started around 2018, I think. I vaguely remembered encountering dramaturgy on my feed one day, thinking the song and music video were fire. Then before I knew it, I've been keeping up to date with his releases ever since. For those who are unaware, Eve is a Japanese singer-songwriter and vocal producer whose works have been featured in different projects such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, My Hero Academia, Blue Box, Witch Hat Atelier, Dororo, Pokemon Horizons, Josei the Tiger and the Fish, Bubble, and so on and so forth. I recommend his music, they're just so good. Also, Smile is my favorite album. Aside from his songs, fans especially remembered Eve for his music videos. To say that they are visually appealing would be an understatement. Each music video is an animated set piece brought to life thanks to many talented artists and animators. They not only complement the song's themes, but they can also portray narratives and take place in Eve's cinematic universe, a world where the supernatural and surreal intertwine with the daily lives of humanity. So unsurprisingly, fans are not only analyzing the songs themselves, but also the stories and characters depicted in the videos themselves, especially when there are instances when certain characters appear in multiple videos. Long story short, Eve fans are theorists, and Eve is aware of it. Just read his comment during the release of one of his previous songs, Promise. And that's why I'm here. I want to share to you my fan theory about the story and themes of two songs, Tohiko and Abyss in the World. I've been watching these MVs on loop ever since the latter was released, so I thought why not. Now, a quick disclaimer before I begin. For entertainment purposes, I'll be presenting my theory as if it's a cohesive narrative, but just know that everything I say is not canon nor better than any other theory shared online. The Eve cinematic universe is always ambiguous and open to interpretation. It's just that I've been fixated on these songs for so long, and I just wanted to share this joy and thought process with you. Also, please listen to Tohiko and Abyss in the World before watching this video. Not only it'll give you context since I'll be citing a lot of song lyrics throughout this discussion, but the songs and music videos beautifully tell a story about love and family. It's just my heart. Ugh. Now that's out of the way, let's enter the abyss. There once was a family of three, Kokan, Hee-chan, and Fu-chan. They also lived with two supernatural beings named Bunny Bunny and Egg. Remember, the supernatural and surreal intertwined with humanity. So Ko was the oldest and had taken it upon himself to provide for his family, taking on multiple jobs and working late into the night. If there's one thing I could say to describe him, it's that Ko loved his family but not himself. His heart was split into two for them, leaving him hollow. He overworked himself to the bone to give He and Fu a better life but couldn't envision a future for himself. Or perhaps he used to but had forgotten how, to the point he begged for someone to inspire him to cling to life. My future's as murky as the Dead Sea. You reap what you sow. Somebody inspire me so that I can cling to life. So inevitably, the people he clung to for inspiration were his siblings, He and Fu as represented by the heart they made for him near the end of the song. While Tohiko ended in a positive note, it didn't mean that Ko completely changed his outlook in life. His love for his family was never the problem. The issue was his almost complete disregard of himself for his siblings' sake. A prisoner of my dreams from every word I utter, in a daze from the edge of night. I want to escape from here. I just complain like a broken record. The man I once was, what happened to him? Did he ever exist? Ko saw himself as a shell of his former self, a man with a future as murky as the Dead Sea. His mind and body continued to decline, but he kept going anyway. He had to. He loved He and Fu, but not himself. So he dedicated all his time and energy for them because unlike him, they matter. But something had to give. So one day, Ko had given too much of himself away and vanished. After Ko disappeared, He and Fu began searching for him. They scoured from place to place, marking where they went onto their map. It's unclear how long they've been looking for their brother, but what's clear was that they're coming up empty. Each of them coped with the situation in different ways. While Fu tried to keep a level head, he seemed to struggle the most with his brother's absence. Sure, he kept a cheerful get-going attitude throughout, but when he's alone, the pain was clearly shown on his face. He missed him. So much so that one day, despite Fu's protests, he went off on his own to look for Ko, only to find a phantom. Because Ko didn't just disappear, be it replaced or transformed, before his eyes was a phantom, a hollow version of his brother, a manifestation of his darkest, loneliest thoughts. This was a creature who was convinced that he had nothing left to give, and had decided to vanish from this dull world. The man I once was, what happened to him? The man I once was, did he ever exist? Fu managed to save He before anything happened, but the latter was shaken by what just transpired. He's scared, but more than anything, he's overwhelmed by guilt. That phantom wasn't his brother, yet at the same time he was. This was a shell of a man trapped by the night. Had Ko always felt this way? Was he always filled with despair? And if so, was it He's fault that made Ko decide to disappear? I'm what you call a textbook example, neither good or bad, like I'm not even there. And yet that corrupted sense of complacency melts into the night and to the depths of the abyss. What I found incredible about Tohiko and Abyss in the World was how they seemed to be having a backward and forth discussion through their lyrics. I believe that Tohiko represented Ko's perspective, while Abyss in the World was He's, and the lyrics revealed their parallels. For example, in Tohiko, Ko lamented about his pain, his physical and mental pain. He described life as constantly stabbing him, with nights becoming unbearable as his dreams remind him of his lack of future. Night passes once more, it hurts so much. I write in pain, you reap what you sow. Then in Abyss in the World, we see how he dealt with the possibility of causing the pain of another. He described himself as complacent to Ko's declining health, his ignorance being the cause of someone else's pain. And while he wanted to better understand Ko, a part of him was scared. I wish I could drift away and disappear. I want to keep running away. These tears won't let up. If Tohiko was about the burden of carrying everything on your shoulders, then Abyss was about the burden of being someone else's burden. He and Fu loved Ko very much, but they were likely not completely cognizant to the pressure their brother was putting on himself to take care of them. How could they? Ko was always there for them for as long as they can remember. Sure, they understood he worked a lot and they observed how tired he could be after a long day, but Ko always spent time with them afterwards with a smile. He made sure they never saw the darkness underneath, so they never truly knew his despair. So he, realizing that his own ignorance might have caused his brother pain, felt overwhelming. It meant he had to do something about it, but how? Could a child like him bear the weight of his brother's despair? For Ko's sake, he had to at least try, right? So when Fu's fast asleep, he snuck off to find the phantom standing by the cliffside, bathed in the warm light coming from the crescent-shaped crater of the sky. He was hesitant at first. For a moment, Ko felt unreachable, his form surrounded by darkness, his chest hollowed out by broken dreams. Still, he persisted and looked past the darkness. He remembered his brother's tired yet genuine smile, the way his bandaged hand patted him fondly, the quiet yet contented look on Ko's eyes as he watched he and Fu play. It was then when he realized Ko definitely loved them. With all his heart, not once had he seen them as burdens. He loved them more than anything in the world, but because Ko couldn't love himself, he became lonely, just like how he felt immense loneliness from his absence. With this newfound understanding, he gathered all his feelings on his chest, all his love and loneliness mustered to form a single prayer. These feelings embraced by loneliness will never fade, but I'm sure one day they'll become the light in someone else's night. In Tohiko, Ko believed that he's a prisoner of his dreams, that his future's as murky as the Dead Sea, but He's response was this: "What awaited you was only despair. Your cries fell on deaf ears. Even the stars only watch in silence. But I met you in my dreams. Something precious was undeniably there. A future tens of billions of light years away. It shone brightly upon you." Even though Ko thought he had no future, even though he believed he had nothing left to give, he shouldn't forget this important truth: that he is loved. And so, filled with He's hopes and dreams, the phantom vanished into shimmering stars. At first, he was a little sad. Perhaps he failed to find Ko. But upon returning home with Fu, a certain person was waiting for them. Their brother has returned home. And that's my fan theory on what I believed happened in Tohiko and Abyss in the World. Is it a perfect explanation? No, not quite. It didn't fully explain why Fu's perspective wasn't expressed, or why He's cognizance and acceptance of his own loneliness was the only way to bring Ko back. Heck, Ko didn't even come back with them. He just waited for them at the train station to surprise them, I guess? Regardless, I enjoyed thinking about it. The theory is based on my understanding of what I saw. I think it still fits within the supernatural elements of the Eve cinematic universe. It's aligned to my personal taste, and I just can't say no to good family drama and angst. If that's not enough, there are plenty of other theories and interpretations of what happened to Tohiko and Abyss in the World. For instance, there's this one about Ko being dead and he grappling with the grief of it through the Phantom. Another about the Phantom being a byproduct of his loneliness due to Ko working a lot. Both theories could work because other songs showed similar scenarios happening with other characters. There's also this one theory I stumbled across online that alluded to the possibility that Abyss of the World might actually be a prequel to Tohiko to explain how he and Fu became aware of their brother's struggles and what made them decide to build him a new heart at the end of that video. Long story short, the possibilities are endless when the Eve cinematic universe is ambiguous and open to interpretation. And I hope you enjoy listening to me ramble about my fan theory. So that's everything for now. Go listen to Eve's music. I'm Happy Pinecone and see you next time.